Good afternoon, experienced Butte fans. Today we'll be starting a series called Who Are You? And we'll be chatting with just regular Butte people to talk about their Butte experience and how they live and work here in our great city. And today I've picked a guinea pig, so to speak, to test out our very, very first episode of this. And so I've titled this Secret Identities. Because this young man here is going to reveal something about himself. I think his friends are aware of what he does, but maybe not all of Butte does. And so I'd like to introduce Matt Ralph. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Born and raised in Butte, right?
Yes, born and raised, all 22, almost 23 years now. I'm currently going to school at Highlands College, second year of the automotive program, great program. That's basically it.
You said, do you have a job? Are you employed?
Yes, I'm employed with Desk Fencing here, a local company, great company. With the weather being cold and the ground being frozen, fencing's a little hard to do right now. But other than that, good company. Not really towards my program, hoping to find something a little more related to schooling, but take what you can get for now for
That's
employment.
Right. Yeah, we know it's tough to find jobs when you really need them. But you got to pay the bills, so you take what you can.
Exactly.
You have another life here in Butte that not everybody knows about. I know about it, but can you tell us what you do on the side?
Yes, actually, and I actually did this live this morning for a few Facebook friends, but I'm actually Cobra, the mascot for the Butte Cobras here, the local hockey team in town.
Sweet. That sounds kind of scary and interesting. How did you get into that?
Funny story. Actually, kind of goes a little bit back into high school. Me and a friend were saying, all right, we're going to try and play college football. Walk on, just keep it going. Tried, failed. Then we thought, why not be the mascots? He went to Montana State and I went to U of M, and I thought, mascot's a little difficult. U of M with Monty Bear being there, and he's top dog, and actually
he's pretty good too.
Known around the country. A couple of past people have done it before. Have actually made their way into the NBA. I thought, maybe not college mascot. Ended up coming here for school and was introduced to the Peck family. Keith and Amanda Peck. They passed away since, but she was the billet coordinator for the Butte Cobras, figuring out what players staying with what families from out of town. I went to a few of the games. I noticed the mascot was just kind of a bump on the log there.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's just
talking smack,
just some kid they picked or what, but he's just kind of standing around And I asked her, I'm like, who's the mascot? And she's like, oh, it's just one of the players' friends. Just kind of stepped in. I'm like, you guys want like an actual mascot to dance and interact with the crowd? She's like, sure. I tried it out one weekend, loved it, and been doing it ever since. This is my second year now, just finishing up the second year.
Awesome. And the Butte Cobras have been doing really good too, haven't they?
Yes. First year started off a little slow, but we actually, statistically, had one of the hardest schedules out there in the Western States Hockey League. But last I checked, we have won the last 20. I want to say it's up to about 24 of 28 games. Mm-hmm. We're on a 9-game winning streak right now, and they took a trip to Oregon last night and beat the Southern Oregon Spartans 5-2.
Sweet.
The puck drops again tonight. I believe it's about 8 o'clock our time. Mm-hmm. You can catch it on Facebook. Keep track of the games or the Cobras.
And they're headed to the playoffs.
Headed to the playoffs. First round. The Sunday, Monday, Tuesday after St. Patrick's Day is here in Butte. First round.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys make sure you go there and show a little love to the Butte Cobras. They're a great organization, and they're also very charitable. They've done quite a bit for some organizations here in Butte. So make sure you go and support the Butte Cobras. They're a lot of fun to watch. That crowd just really gets excited. So, what is it that you like about being a mascot? I mean, nobody really knows who you are. You're all covered up. You're in a costume. You really got to put yourself out there. Does it make you nervous, or what is it that you like about being a mascot?
Honestly, the first few games I did it, I was a little hesitant at first because I'm in front of hundreds of people. I don't know who they are. I'm just basically entertainment in between intermissions, timeouts, and all that. And once I realized nobody can see my face, I've got the costume on, I'm dancing around, just have fun with it. Just roll with it. You get all these little kids wanting to high five and hug and fist bump Kobe, and you get tourists from out of town wanting a picture with the mascot. I'm a giant, goofy looking snake who dances around with people. And of course, you got the shy high schoolers. You go and make them uncomfortable or tease them a bit. But overall, it's just a fun atmosphere. I love doing it. I don't know if I could really pick a favorite part. Other than just publicity with the crowd and just getting love from the crowd, the Butte fans, even just out of towners. In fact, last home series, we had a couple from overseas, an Asian couple, and they loving up on Kobe, pictures. A guy even asked for an autograph. And just love from fans in general. But even that aside, it's a free hockey game.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun to see that. Is it tough moving around in that costume? You're pretty tall. You're what, like 6'2"?
6'2".
And you've got a big old head on you. Your costume head.
Yeah, that too.
And what's the hardest part about wearing that costume? You must get really hot in there. I know it's in the hockey rink, but you got to get hot in there when you're moving around.
To be completely honest, I hate that thing. Of course, not so much the costume. I hate putting it on. It's a little bit of a process because it's basically spandex underneath. The great parts to see, the sleeves and all that. But once I get into the costume, it's such a second skin anymore. I hardly realize it. And the only time I really do realize it is if I happen to have the tail on, and that just keeps getting broken. So I'm like, you know what? I'm through with the tail. That's really the only time I notice it. With the tail, kids pulling on it, little kids reaching for the tongue. But other than that, it just feels so natural at this point.
Do you have a hard time seeing out of that, though? You're like way up here. Most of your fans are like down at waist level, I think.
I do have a few blind spots with that. I can remember a few different games. You're sitting there. I stand at the basically center ice, just watching, going back and forth, watch the teams go back and forth as the game goes on. And anytime Butte will score, I'll jump up and run out, get the crowd pumped. There's been a number of times where I've maybe mowed over a fan or two.
Yeah, little kids.
Because I can only see so far down with that little hole in the mouth and so far to the sides.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that would be tough, I guess. So I know you also played football at Butte High and in junior high as well. And so you have a good idea of what a Butte crowd is like. So what is it? Tell me about a Butte crowd at any sporting event. What is it that you think sets them apart from when you go out of town? Obviously, it's different. But what is it about a Butte crowd?
I've seen a few out-of-town crowds. When I was going to school in Missoula, watched Butte play over there, Butte High School. Played Sentinel for a football game. And, the game goes on. You got parents, family in the stands. But after the game, you really kind of see who's the true fans, who sticks around. And what I found kind of disturbing was a lot of the Missoula fans, even though we just beat the tar out of them, they left, just bolted. Game's over, let's go home. With Butte fans, whether it's a blowout win, blowout loss, tie, close series, as soon as everything's done, game's over, they'll stick around. They'll wait for their players. It's almost like you take any sport in this town, football, basketball, hockey now, Tech, Butte High, it doesn't matter. As soon as the game's over, the fans are right there either to celebrate with the team or console them. And they'll stick around through thick and thin. Just wait. Go to a Butte High game this fall for football. Watch the crowd after the game. There's going to be some traffic, but that's more often than not the out-of-town fans. But they'll stick through the whole game. You'll get blowout wins sometimes, and some of the out-of-towners will start leaving. Oh, it's not, we're staying the whole game. Butte will stay till the very last whistle. Yeah,
and it's like a great gathering place, too. People get together. Oh, I haven't seen you in a while, and that's what I like about it, too.
Family reunion.
Very, very oriented, very united. I remember a couple times we went to state tournaments out of state, and the Purple Wave, oh my gosh, it brings a tear to your eye. Just all these purple-clad fans cheering for Butte High, and it's amazing. If you haven't been to a sporting event where, especially out of town, and you miss that, you can't really gauge that. It's hard to describe, but it is pretty awesome to see Butte fans in action. They can get pretty rowdy sometimes. But, it's all in good fun. I think for the most part, they just want to cheer the team on and show show some spirit.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
the
awesome.
Cobra fans are no different. I mean, these out of town games, we'll have a few like over or out of town announcers saying, "Hey, we're just checking into Butte." They'll post pictures on Facebook of the away crowd. This is, for example, what the Oregon Stadium looks like, and there's that big old black and red Butte Cobras section right there cheering them on. No less than 50 people usually.
Yeah.
I mean, Oregon all the way down to Salt Lake. It doesn't matter. They're right there.
That's pretty cool to see. I really like that. So who would you say is your favorite mascot? Any sport, any school?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, if you live in Montana, Monty seems to be the top dog. Monty Bear from Missoula.
Likes Monty.
He's the only one out of all the nation. And I found this surprising when I read some of the stats here. Capital One Mascot of the Year twice. Only mascot to ever do that. He's competing with big schools like USC, UCLA, Michigan State. He's the only one to pull that off. So I'd probably have to go with Monty Bear.
Well, because you went to U of M.
Oh yeah, that too. Outside Montana, I'd probably have to go with Wilbur Wildcat from Arizona.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, if it came down to it, do you think you would have the moves to win a dance-off against any other mascots? You think you got it?
Not only do I think I got it, I know I do. I mean,
okay.
I've been to Butte High again, graduated from Butte High. It's usually some kid in that mascot uniform, the Bulldog, just trying to get out of attention. So he's just there. In the words of Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I've seen Charlie Ordiger. He seems to be in another world. I'm the real thing. I'm Kobe Cobra. I interact with the crowd. I know I got the moves, and I'm calling you out, Charlie Ordiger.
Okay.
You heard it right here.
You heard it here, Butte. If you would like to see a dance-off between Kobe Cobra and Charlie Ordiger or any other mascot in town, give us some likes on this video and let us know if you think that's something be worth watching. That's some big talk coming from Kobe. Snake versus a guy with a pickaxe. I don't know. It might be close. Could be kind of really bad.
Anybody can trot around on a basketball court or a football field, but it takes true skill to really know what you're doing on ice.
Oh, on the ice. So, yeah, that might be another thing to consider, too. So, yeah. All right, fans, you heard it. So if you think we could have a dance-off, give us some likes on our video, and we'll check it out and see what happens. Okay, so here's a more serious question. You're pretty young. You have your whole life ahead of you. You've got career plans and things like that. Will you stick around Butte after you graduate, you think?
Like I said earlier, I graduate in May, and I made this announcement this morning with a few Facebook friends. Where I'm at right now, financially, paying for school out of pocket, that's about to get all done with. To move anywhere, it's going to be a little bit, probably at least a year, at least one more year, and so that means I will be Kobe Cobra for one more year, just to work, save up money to eventually go where I'd like to be. After graduation, or just whenever the time comes for me to leave, I'd like to end up north, Fairbanks, Alaska, driving the Haul Road. There's money up there. It's essentially Montana on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Got mountains, glaciers, the wildlife. I've talked to a few people around here who've been able to have the chance to work up there. They said it's a young man's game, but it's also a beautiful place to basically live out the rest of your life.
So, what would change that? I mean, what would have to happen here at Butte to change that? Because that seems to be one of the challenges that some of the young people have here in Butte, is not finding a job that maybe provides not only the finances to pay off school loans and things like that, but maybe a different work environment. What do you think would have to come into Butte for you to stick around and make it work?
Not so much something coming from outside Butte in, but a lot of things have to happen here that's already here. Like I said, I'm trying to get my CDL, but what I'm starting to notice as a popular trend for a lot of driving companies, I mean, beforehand it would be they'd hire someone, yeah, we'll work with you to get your CDL, we'll help you with some costs, not all, we'll give you the training. A lot of companies are looking for somebody who already knows to slam gears, basically, so to speak. They're already looking for someone who knows how. Nobody wants to put the time and effort just to get them started off. And that's kind of the struggle I'm finding right now. And because right now I'm kind of looking for a driving job, but everybody's already, oh, do you have your CDL already? Well, no, but I'm wanting to get it. Well, sorry, can't help you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're wanting somebody who already has the training.
So if any of your viewers know of, because I know he's not the only person that's going through this. I've seen a couple of posts on Facebook where people are looking for CDL jobs or to get to their CDL, other than going to like Missoula, I think, to go to school there. If you know of any place that's willing to step up and help people such as Matt, post in the comments and let us know if you know that. We want to keep our young people here with, to stick around and help our economy grow. But the thing that I think is going to have to happen is there's got to be a collaboration between some of the business owners here who have that capability and, working with the schools that are letting these kids out. Obviously there's that other element where the young people want to go out into the world and they see something different. I think we all go through that. We say things like, well, I'm going to, leave this one horse town and go somewhere else and search for some adventure. But there are some young people that want to stick around. They want to carry on the traditions of their parents here, but the jobs just aren't there. And the jobs that are there don't have that kind of the kind of wages that'll help you pay off a school loan. Which if you're getting out of a 4-year school, you got a big debt to carry with you. So you got to find something that'll pay that off. And then on that end, I'd also like to ask you a little bit about the Highlands College, because you're a student there.
Yes.
By the time you graduate, you will have how much in student debt?
From Highlands, and here's the thing with my student debt, from the Highlands, close to none, because I'm paying out of pocket, it's cheap, it's affordable. All that student debt is coming from Missoula, from when I did the 3 semesters there. And I haven't checked the numbers, but the math I've done, at least, I'll be paying till I think at least 35. And that's just interest that I'm paying. It's ridiculous. But
a vocational college, such as the Highlands College, you really do have an advantage when you go to learn a trade, because it is fairly inexpensive.
Oh, very.
You're out of there, in most cases, in 2 years, and you're ready to go to work. And so what I think there seems to be is a lack of respect for those. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge fan of Mike Rowe Works.
Yes.
The website, Mike Rowe, the Dirty Jobs guy, and he really pushes that trades for the younger people. The United States is looking at a skills gap between the upcoming generation and those of us older workers that are in the trades that are getting ready to retire, and there's nothing to fill in between. And so what do you do to encourage the younger? I don't think they are, this is my opinion, and maybe there are the statistics to show, 4-year colleges are always being pushed a lot more to the high school kids than the trades and the vocations. And I think you've got a lot of kids going to 4-year colleges because it's expected, and not because they know there's that other option of, I could be a welder, which is really high in demand right now. I can go into automotive. I could be a chef. Most people don't realize that being a chef is a trade. It's not something you learn, just anywhere. You actually go to school and you can learn how to do that. There are a number of jobs in the trades that I think would fit anybody, especially if you like to work with your hands. That's one of those things that I think is not highlighted enough in small towns like Butte, where the kids end up leaving. They go out of town to go to a prestigious college like U of M or MSU, when they could be getting a really good education at the Highlands College, for instance, and learning something like welding or automotive, or even the lineman school. I think they have pretty good job placement. Eric, I see your post on there, or your comment, 58,000 drivers needed in the next year. So there is a demand for jobs like that, and it could be definitely a good alternative to sticking it out in a 4-year college, trying to figure out exactly what you want to do, when you could actually pick something up in 2 years and be ready to go as soon as you get out with almost no student debt, which is kind of nice. So, that's pretty. Think about it if you're out there listening, and you're especially high school, junior high and high school, when you're getting ready to make that decision to go into school. think about a trades program and how you could benefit from that, especially if you know you're not really academically inclined. And that's not saying that you don't have to be smart to go to vocational school, because it does require thinking, of course, but some people are just really good with their hands and they think mechanically, not so much with theories and things like that. But as far as, they can look at, for instance, a carpenter can measure things, they have that mindset. They can look at something and tell you about how long it is or how big it is, because they have a very visual propensity for that, for that trade or whatever. So yeah, for sure. Think about checking up with the Highlands College and seeing what they can do for you. There are always options. You don't always have to get trapped into doing something that is always expected of you. So yeah, a good thing to promote, I think. So what is it? Saying that you're thinking about leaving Butte and moving on, what is it about Butte that you would like to, that you wish you could carry with you and take to where you're going?
Pasty shops.
Pasty
Easily.
shops.
But no,
maybe you could sell some out of your truck.
Ooh, there we go. Hold up north. But quite frankly, you travel around just the state or you go on vacations, but you get a certain feeling in this town that outsiders got to work and earn their way into our system and gain our respect. But if you're a Butte native, you already have that much going for you. You're part of this community. You're part of that. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. But if you need a hand, we'll help you out.
Oh yeah, yeah. We saw it at the last hockey game. The Cobras, managed to put together a fund for the Peck children, and they raised $25,000, which I thought was super awesome. So yeah, Butte does help. Help its own. It takes care of its own. So would you say that's kind of
definitely that
community
sense of,
feel that you really can appreciate about a small town like Butte, even though people looking on the outside looking in may not see it. It's there, and they do welcome people. You just got to get to know them. I think it's just like any time you're moving to a new town, you have to get to know the people and appreciate what they're like, and you feel right in after that.
And sadly, it's just something that us Butte natives can really feel. I mean, I've met people from around Montana, not just Butte, through Missoula. People from Helena, Kalispell, Billings, even the smaller towns like Conrad and Colstrip and all that. And they're like, Butte, gross! It's a giant hole in the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear somebody start talking up, you're like, oh, we're just living in our own little dirty town, dirty water. Yeah, you joke around with them if they're Butte natives. You hear anyone else start talking smack about Butte, something's gonna go down if they're not careful.
It's the Butte versus everybody. Cole Anderson's company put that very plainly on their shirts. It's Butte versus everybody, which,
we're definitely that
very tight.
I mean, this day and age, everybody, let's love everyone and hold hands, sing kumbaya, and well, if you take care of everybody, you start to lose focus of your own family, for crying out loud. And Butte's that old-fashioned, it's us against the world. We'll take care of our own before anyone else.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yep. So I hope you enjoyed our little conversation today. I hope to be doing more of these, just to show you what Butte people are like. I mean, it's very easy to come into Butte and see the architecture and eat some of the amazing food and be able to check out the venues and the things around Butte. But the real gem in this town are the people. And you really have to get to know them to understand how everything works in this town. It's there are just some amazing, charming, hardworking people in this town that want to see it succeed. And so hopefully these little video series will help you understand who these people are. You're going to see people from all walks of life that maybe you've never heard of. And I think that's okay, because not everybody likes to be in the spotlight, but it is nice to give them a little bit of a shout out and say, hey, this is part of what makes Butte work. It's the people. So give us some likes. If you enjoyed this video, share it please, and like our Facebook page, Experience Butte. We want everybody to get a taste of what it's like to live in this town. It's pretty awesome. So if you get a chance, also get out this weekend and experience Butte.